गुड इव्हनिंग.
आवाज कमी कर.
गुड इव्हनिंग. गुड इव्हनिंग.
गुड इव्हनिंग. गुड इव्हनिंग.
काय म्हणताय राजूरकर साहेब?
सॉरी सगळेजण. काय आहे, मी तळेगावला असल्यामुळे मला
बरोबर.
सगळ्यांना आईस्क्रीम खाऊ घालायचं होतं.
हा,
बस गाजरच दाखवा तुम्ही.
बरं हा आलाय का पांडे? एक मिनिट, याला घेतले का तू? मैत्रेय पांडेला घेतले का इन शशिकांत?
ना बघ
मैत्री.
येस सर.
मैत्री. हा ठीक आहे. गुड. ओके आलायस ना शशिकांत? शशिकांत
बोल ना.
हा, त्याचं टेस्ट करून घे. शेअर स्क्रीन केलं एनेबल तू?
एक मिनिट करतो.
मैत्री तुझं शेअर करून घे. म्हणजे शशिकांत तुला राईट देईल शेअर करायचे. आपण शेअर झाला की मग आपण पुढे बोलूया. ठीक आहे.
ओके सर.
मैत्री शेअर करून बना स्क्रीन तुझा. अदर्स प्लीज म्यूट. हा गुड. ओके मित्र, दिसतोय स्क्रीन तुझा?
हो दिसतंय.
आपण एक 2 मिनिटं थांबूया आणि मग करून शशिकांत, चालेल ना?
हो.
बऱ्याच ज्युनियर लोकांना आपण बोलवले, कारण त्यांना क्लिअर करण्यासाठी हा एक चांगला ऑप्शन आहे.
बरोबर.
पण आणि 85 to 95 चे पण जे आपले बॅचमेट्स आहेत, ज्यांचे किड्स आर म्हणजे ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ 12वी होत आहेत, झालेत किंवा नियर फ्युचर मध्ये आहेत, त्यांच्यासाठी सुद्धा एक चांगला सेशन राहू शकतो. हा एक ऑप्शन चांगला आहे.
बरोबर.
एनिवे, मी एक मैत्री, मी तुझं एक छोटं इंट्रोडक्शन देतो. होप जयंत पण जॉईन झालेला आहे का नाही झालंय? बाबा तुझे जॉईन झालेत का नाही मैत्री?
बाबा पुढे बसले.
बरं, एनिवे, good evening all. Welcome back to this series of sessions again. We had a little gap in between, though it was decisively planned to have a reduction in down. Anyway, today we have a incidentally son of our decided to go NID, that is National Institute of Design, and this is one of the top section or area where lot many people can make a career, and for which he will guide us for this, because there are a lot of opportunities. Every day you experience packaging, design, or maybe whatever product you buy, it comes from this institute called National Institute of Design. Obviously, it's a part of a design. So over to Maitreya Pandey for enabling or maybe enlightening us on this topic, that is design is thinking made visual. Please go ahead, Maitreya.
Yes sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello,
and I welcome.
Others, please
Request.
Maitreya, just a minute. Request all others to please mute your microphone. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Maitreya.
Welcome each and everyone who has joined this seminar and who has showed their interest in knowing about the field called designing. So I'd like to start my presentation with the permission of all the authorities over here.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So the topic that I decided to talk on is designing is thinking made visual. Short introduction about myself. Again, Maitreya Pandey, product designer. I'm from Sainik Schools. I was studying in Sainik School, Satara. 2010, joining 5551. My junior house was Nehru House and senior as Lal Bahadur Shastri House. 2017 pass out. Later, I joined United World Institute of Department of Industrial Designing in that, and my specialization in product designing.
Okay.
So whenever this thing comes, like what is exactly design? People say design, design. We use word design every day, day to day life, to design something. Let that be our room, let that be anything in the that we use in our day to day life. So what exactly does design means? When you go to Google and search for this word designing, so I call Google as Chatur. You all might know the movie Three Idiots, in which when what is machine was asked the meaning of that. In the same way, I'd like to tell you what Google says about designing. So designing is a plan for specification for construction of an object or system, or for the implementation of an activity or process, or the result of that for specification in form of a prototype, product, or process. So this is what Google says about designing. In my terms, designing is just beautiful solutions. So in simple words, as Rancho said what machine was, like the zip up and down, in the same way in my case, design solutions and nothing. So when we say beautiful, beautiful for many kinds, it might be beautiful things, beautiful sceneries, beautiful paintings, and whatnot, beautiful people. But in terms of designing, when you see beautiful, it's not decorative. Beautiful means is understood as contemplative satisfaction and usability. So when you say something, that means it gives you a sense of satisfaction and usability. Not solutions that we use in our chemistry labs, but in designing solutions is something, the target of any design is meeting needs when specific situations for user and a product. So that solution should meet the necessity of the user by inventing a product or a process. So when I say designing, many people ask that like, where is it coming from, when did it all started? So the designing, if they started revolution, make shoes, tailor used to stitch the dresses particularly, but after that, after industrial mass production, after that only the concept design came into exist. So is it art or science? While not being exactly an art nor a science, it takes elements from both. You shouldn't know about art or just science. If you have knowledge about both the things, then only you can make a design successful. Ceramic, glass, and interior design, film design, textile design, apparel design, lifestyle accessories design, strategic design management. Then we have new media design, photography design, toy and game design, transportation and automobile design, design for retail experience, digital game design, information design, interaction design, and universal design. Okay. I'll just ask, is everyone able to hear me?
Yes, yes, very much. Go ahead.
Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yeah. Maitri,
Okay, sir.
Yes,
we
yes,
can
we are
hear
able to
you.
hear.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. Yeah. We all know this famous person, Steve Jobs, and my favorite. He says that design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. So even if you say that design is just the outer look, but it's not the exact thing. Designing is also what it works, how it works. So among these other disciplines, the discipline that I choose is product designing. It's imagining, creating products that solve users' problems or address specific needs in a given market. So in our field, any client that approaches us a particular problem, that for that he wants a product to be solved, we either design a new product or we try to find out faults in existing product and try to make it more impeccable. So how do we do it? Like in mathematics we have formulas to in answers, in same as in physics and chemistry. In same way, designing has its creative design processes. The problems are best solved when approached in a comprehensive and systematic way. The goals of this process is to guide you and organize your work to turn ideas into concrete solutions. So the processes that we are taught in our designing colleges, it's not to make you think unique, but it's just to guide you and to organize your work to turn your ideas. Ideas generally come from you. There is no formula, there is no principle to get those ideas out of you, but just to turn those ideas into concrete solutions, we have creative design processes. So in this entire design process, at every stage, whenever we jump into some solution, we come up with some, or we have problem, or we have anything, at every stage we ask questions like, what is the problem? For whom is the problem? Why does this problem exist? Where does this, if we design a solution, who is going to use it? What is our target audience? How is this solution really gonna change the life of that particular user? So these questions help us to be more specific. It helps us to be more user centric in terms of our design. Okay, what is design process? So if you again Google this question, the Google will say it's a set of strategic and tactical activities for idea generation to commercialization used to create a product design. In a systematic approach, product designers conceptualize and evaluate ideas, turning them into tangible inventions and products. So this is what Google says. But what what your mind says, that is the design process. It's all about how you think, what you think, your approach towards the problem, your approach towards the solution. So if you say how many design process do exist, so there is no fixed number of how many design processes exist. So every designer has its own design process. There are as many as design processes as many designers are there in the world. But just to understand what design process is and how it works, there are few general design processes taught in the college to exactly give the idea about how design process works. But again, once you jump into the industry, every designer has its own design process. Whenever we do anything, our design, our work, our project, just beautiful whenever he sees it, because that is our best compliment we can ever get. So what exactly beautiful means? It's not decorative, as I said. It's not something very about good test about the design. So design does not exist if there is no beauty in it. There are shaped solutions, usable shapes with criteria and logic, but shape. Beauty is aesthetics, which is quite subjective and cultural. There are a lot of types of beauty depending on composition and emotions. So other part of designing, that is aesthetic, which designers really emphasize on whenever they design a concept or a product. If you see these two companies over here that I'm showing, one is Apple and one is Google, which these two companies literally understood the concept of design when world was even didn't know what designing is. And that's why we can see that these two companies are really ruling the world. Okay, what is a great design? So we know what design is, we know what are the design processes, but after knowing this, how to make a concept, a product that trend in the society. So what exactly is a great design? Google says great designs are those that successfully balance beauty and function in the context they are going to be used. There is very fine line between successfully balanced designs and other designs in which aesthetics or the function are misused or overdone. So in like for example, if I give you makeup, like when we see the makeup of different regions, like for example, if you go to village or a very lower category, if you go and see the makeup type the people try to make before wedding or any event, it looks very glossy or very overdone, because they don't exactly know at what proportion the makeup has to be done. But if you go at a very global level, or if you go at a very national level, there the things are very minimalistic. Even if the makeup is done there, it doesn't look like very overdone. So most of the people try to make the product so aesthetic, so much aesthetic, that it's overdone, and it's not a great design. So what Rancho says, that's my mind. It says that great designing is not just wow, it's wow. So whenever you see a product, whenever you see a designing, if you that extended wow, that is what a great designing means. That means you have really done a nice job. So great design means harmony and admiration, contemplative satisfaction of use. When this all the factors you get into a particular product, you can say that yeah, this is a great design. So to make any design great, there are few elements. So which elements, one, solution and beauty, have been analyzed make a good design possible. So there are interaction, decisions, ethics, arts, and result. We'll go one by one. Interactions, solutions are to be used, products thought to be used, and they are designed to be easily used. So we as a designer try to connect product and the user emotionally. So it's like whenever we make a product, we connect with, we try to make you feel that the product is part of yours and not something different. So every time when you use that product or when you approach that product, you feel like yeah, this is a part of my body, this is a part of my life, this is the part of my day-to-day routine. So it shouldn't go off track, it shouldn't go something different, and you'll not feel like using it. That's the main point. Whenever we design a product, we try to connect the user and the product emotionally. Decisions, design is the service of user and product. In order to reach a good design, we must give priority to three decisions that will be taken during its development: its simplicity, clarity, and efficiency. So whenever we design a product, a solution, a process, it should be simple. It shouldn't be like when you approach to that product, the first question in your mind will be, what is it used for, or what exactly it is. So whenever you approach to a product, the first thing that you should understand the product itself without any clarification, without any explanation. If you can achieve it, clarity. So whenever the next point is clarity. So whenever we use a product, we try to make it so simple, the mechanisms, the actions involved in user gets it how it has to be used. So whenever when you see a product, when you buy it, there are a few labels on it. Like in this process, you have to use the product. These are the stepwise product. These are the stepwise you have to use the product. So if you are not able to understand exactly how the product has to be used, design. The next thing is efficiency. If this criteria is lacking in your designing, then it's not called a great design, because the main aim of designing is to make a thing efficient. So if I'm designing a automobile, if I'm designing a car, but if it has a very low mileage, so the engine gives very low mileage, so I'll say that even if the simple use, it's very, but it's not meeting the efficiency, then it's of no use. If it's gonna increase your later cost, later expenses, then we won't call it as efficiency. Next point is ethics. So after having discussed about the topic, designing the lovely and activity which leads to users happiness and pleasure. So even after using something, a particular user has that mentality of, yeah, use it and it's really good. So if you travel by a tempo through a very raw road, very kacha road, that time you get the bump, that time you the journey is completed, a little frustrated, and like, what the hell was the journey exactly? We did you don't like it, but instead just go like on the same road. If you're traveling with a very high suspension car, that doesn't even give you a feel of those holes, those bumps on your road. Even after the journey is completed, you say, yeah, even the road was very rough, the car that you used literally help you to get out of that. So you have that satisfaction of using that product, and if you are able to achieve that in your product, then it's really appreciated. So next point is art. So is art design? Yes, undoubtedly it's design. A horrible picture is also art, but horrible. But a great design is art, brilliant art. It's creativity, it's emotion, and it's evocation. So let me explain you what art and is this line here. Because if you just call it a triangle, you can call it anything you want. But in designing, if you draw a line, or even if you put a dot in your designing, you have to explain that why does that point or why does that line exist there. So designing is art. Whenever you do art in designing, it has to be a meaning in that, otherwise there is no use of art in your designing. At last but not the least, it's result. Design means result. Design, apart from being an art, can be measured clearly. So when we design a product, the usability, the efficiency, the satisfaction of the product after using it, the usage of the product, this all things matter and they count, and then you can clearly measure the cost of the product. If I give you a product which is of literally no use and ask you to pay 20 bucks for that, no one is going to pay 20 bucks. But instead of that, if I give you a very useful a product that is going to be used in your day-to-day life, and even if you when you feel the satisfaction, even if I ask you 20 bucks, people are ready to pay 40 bucks for that, because they know that this is really helpful. So when you are satisfied with a product, when you are satisfied a process, the solution, automatically the profitability of that product increases. Okay, so every field has its own tools to use. Like in engineers, there are different instruments students use. In medical, there are few other instruments like scissors and stuff for surgery. In the same way, designing has its own tools. We try to make any product or any process realistic with usage of this softwares. So it's Photoshop, Illustrator, in 60, Blender, and Keyshot. Yeah. So Adobe is really a big suitcase for us in field of designing. It provides almost all types of. Why is it important for companies? Like, why is designing important for? Opens up valuable opportunities for business. Its importance is often underestimated, but good design can bring some significant business benefits. The research and the prototype stages of the design process can generate new product ideas and customers' needs and preferences. So many companies don't give that importance to the design. They think that it's not important, anyone can do that, or you don't need to hire specific designers to do a particular job. But this is where India lacks. Like, India still didn't understand the significance of designing. But if you see in foreign companies, all the successful companies in the world have designers, specific designers for specific job to be done, because they understand that it's only designing factor that can make your business more significant and can bring you lots of benefits. Because if you're not able to connect the user with the product, then your even if your product will be great, but no one is going to buy that. In the world, not many people understand how many greens are there, but a designer has to know. So there are so many shades of green in the world, but no one really has to know how many green colors are there in the world, because they don't use it. But when you are a designer, you have to know how many colors are there, what are the different types of shades, because even if you change a shade by one or +1 or -1, the feel of the product changes. So we look at the world and see shades instead of colors. We like to think that to see what we see, but the sad fact is the perception of a designer is skewed in a way that not many people can really understand. So when many people or many get irritated when a designer takes time to do something, when a designer says that no, this is not correct and this is correct, if it goes against the client's mind, that time client is really irritating, but that client doesn't understand designer does. So a simple example, we all know Instagram, we all use Instagram. If you are the very beginner user of Instagram, you would have saw the logo of the Instagram, the very retro logo that was designed by the then CEO of Instagram. But later, when Instagram hired designers to work, the first thing main designer of Instagram did is he said that I'm going to change the Instagram ka interface and the logo. The CEO was completely against his decision. You just have to give me a month and I'll change the logo, and then you can start Instagram. Then CEO didn't give the permission, but decide that the designer started his work, and and that world today can see is the logo of Instagram, which is very famous all over the world. Okay, so why are designers important to society? With expectations in so many designers, companies they work for have a responsibility to use their skills for good to improve lives, create opportunities, and to bring people together. More companies are taking this responsibility seriously. So now the world is really understanding what is the importance of designing. The conclusion is that in history, high class did not think that design was an art like painting, music, architecture, and because it's an activity thought. But thanks to the challenge made by designers in the 20th century, now the people are really understanding what designing is. So I think CEOs of many companies should be designers because they really are aware of what design is and are much more innovative. I'd like to show you my few of my projects. So this is a capsule that I designed. It's called Purak. It's a mineral transporting capsule. So in the world of pesticides, this capsule is going to help you to transport the minerals from water, the natural occurring minerals that water, directly to the farmers. It has different types of layers inside it that filter all the minerals, store it, and then it provides those minerals direct to the farmers. This is the only capsule in the world that provides it. No one else does. So this is the logo that I designed for it. You can see the and the water drop, and I call it as Purak. This is ITC. It's the product is I took care. In the context of COVID-19, I designed this product. It's a disinfectant dispenser. It uses the air pressure. When you stick this product on your vehicle, it uses, dispenses the disinfectant into the area automatically. So no COVID warriors have to really work hard. So you can do the stuff by yourself. So this is my project 3. It's a Cohere 19 office chair. So in the context of COVID-19, this chair was designed. It has an antiviral and spatial sanitized compartment. It allows you to sit for a long time and giving you the feel of office even at home in context of work from home. So it has the muscular and it has the sanitized compartment for sanitizer also, to keep your mobile also and your water bottle also. This is again a watch. I call it as repo. So it has a USB, or you can say pen drive. So it acts as a pen drive as well as watch, and also the pen drive increases the internal storage of the watch, which this concept didn't exist yet. So the other projects that I made was AirPods. This is in the field of sports. It's used for basketball players to shoot well. This is a bimuscular crutches that are used for the people who can't walk. Other from this project, I also worked on a fold drink bottle that I worked on Union Bank ATM interface. I worked on different types of typographies. I worked on logos and also many posters. So the best way to predict the future is to create it. And that's all I would like to say at last. Stay safe and stay creative. If you want to reach me, this is my calling number. This is my WhatsApp. My 35551@gmail.com. 3_not8 is my Instagram ID. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Maitreya. It was wonderful and informative session. So we have left up with 5 minutes for this particular time slot. So if anyone has any questions, they can go ahead and you can
Yes,
give them the required answers. Okay, so after 5 minutes we can rejoin, and then again you can have the question answer session, right? Thank you.
Shashikant, I have one question. Shashikant.
Yeah.
Maitreya, what can you
Yes,
just
sir.
elaborate the audience for how to get into this different kind of design institute like NID or so? What are the qualifications required? What is the way to go? So this will be covered in these 4-5 minutes, and then we can move to question answers.
The entries for these institutes, so the entries are after 12th. After 12th, you can join these institutions. Every institution has its own designing aptitude test. When you pass that, they call you for interview. They take your interview portfolio session, and they give you different to do. And on that basis, they select you.
Okay. Can you name the let's say institutions in India?
It's NID, National Institute of Designing at Ahmedabad. Then UID, that is United World Institute of Designing, again at Gandhinagar. IIT also has, but it's more technical rather than designing. It's IDC, that is Industrial Designing. Then you have in Pune, you have MIT, you have DSK, you have okay. In Bangalore, you have Srishti, and then yeah, I guess that's all. A Pearl Academy and IDC in Mumbai.
Okay, thank you. So let's yeah. Any more questions for like say we have 3 minutes for this particular session now, so we can rejoin again. Yes, Sanjay Mane sir, you have one question.
Maitre, see, instead of listing out institutes, can you tell us which is specialized for what type of design? Like, see,
Sir,
NIT Ahmedabad is for all, but if you say in Pune, MIT and DSK, what
yeah.
special they have? Because in design, as you mentioned, there are almost, I think, 15 or 16 different areas.
Yeah, but it all depends on the faculty that is available in the college, and mostly the faculties in the private institution jump from one college to other college, but still college holds the reputation for a particular department. So if you want to join product designing, I'll say that after NID and IIT, it's UID that has really got a nice faculty for product designing. When you go with automobile designing, that is transportation designing, you can really join MIT, that is Pune. And for fashion designing, you have NIFTs all over world. All over India. Top NIFT colleges are in Mumbai, Gandhinagar, Kolkata, Patna, and other cities. And in terms of visual communication, there is a best college in Bangalore, that is Srishti. It provides you really nice curriculum in visual communication.
Okay, and how about healthcare and medical products? Now, this segment is coming up very fast and in a bigger way.
Yes, sir.
Medical products, as you one product you mentioned as a
Yeah,
medical
sir.
dispenser.
Yeah, so if you say a product designer, he can work literally in all areas. Like I showed you my products, it's in medical, it's in sports, it's in agriculture. They can also work in defense, but right now being a student, they are not allowed to. Then even in other work with UI UX, but we can work in all the categories of the field. It's very useful for them.
Maitreya, there is one question. Is it maths important? Is maths required before 12th and after 12th also for designing?
No, sir, not at all. Not at all required. Not at all important for joining any designing college.
No,
Thank you.
specifically for automobile design.
We may get disconnected, so let's rejoin and have the question session. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.